From the new recording lair located deep beneath the Wine and Spirit store in Ephrata, Pennsylvania.
You're listening to the Masonic Light Podcast.
Studio 665 presents Masonic Light Podcast. This show is recorded by Masons, for Masons. It is for entertainment purposes only. And please, no wagering.
This podcast is not endorsed by any Grand Lodge, and the ridiculous ramblings of the hosts are their own. And now, here's your host.
Hello, everybody. It's Masonic Light Podcast number 161.
161.
Holy cow.
What?
And Larry's having a medical emergency.
I think Larry lost a tooth.
I think he lost a tooth or something.
How's my voice sound now?
It's sounding really good.
It sounds lovely, Larry.
I highly recommend that cough syrup. Very good. Tonight's episode 161 is brought to you by our sponsors, George J. Grove and Son, Hiram Solomon Cigars, which, by the way, we need you to contact us. We need more cigars.
Well,
some other things, too.
Yes.
But, Scott Helm Electric, Masonic Timepiece, and our favorite chocolatier.
She's on the table right now.
Really?
Right there.
Yeah.
Oh, the chocolates are.
Shut up, Tim. Jeez.
Intermezzo by Stephanie.
Moral code of chastity stuff does not apply.
This thing went in the ditch quick. Wow.
We're on the envelope.
Yep, here we go. All right. But most importantly, our fantastic Patreon supporters.
Me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You, too, can be a Patreon supporter.
How can we do that,
Absolutely.
Tim?
For as little as, wait for it, $1 a month.
$1. That's all we need.
That's it. Just $1.
If everybody sent $1, we'd be in prison.
We would. Go to patreon.com/Masonic Light Podcast. And we're very thankful for the 3 new Patreon supporters that we've had since our last episode, so it must have not been too terrible.
Well, I mean, nobody's building a golf course or a McMansion somewhere.
Yeah, we're not taking world
we're
tours.
We're just trying to keep the show on the road.
Trying to keep the show going.
Right.
We'll talk a little bit more about show on the road later, but look at Larry. Are you okay?
Larry's
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
We're just checking you out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's my voice sound?
Much better. Better than it did at dinner. Very good.
So, Tim, who are we going to talk to tonight?
Well, let me first talk about our social media contacts. We've actually got some organization here that we've never had in the history of our show.
Geez, we got an outline, people.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Let me say one thing.
Okay.
We've been doing this show 7 years now.
Uh-huh.
Tonight is the first night in all 7 years.
Yes.
With the exception when we were in the Pay Studio downtown Lancaster. First time in 7 years that the equipment was up and running 20 minutes before 7 o'clock.
Whoa.
Amazing.
That has never happened.
Josh, a round of applause.
Yes, a round of applause.
Whoa.
He's the man.
Now, would that change if we had a Zoom guest?
Yes.
Yeah, it would.
You know, it always takes 45 minutes to get Zoom going for us. But you can email us at any time at masoniclightpodcast@gmail.com. You may follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Masonic Light Podcast. On Twitter at Masonic Light.
Ooh.
As well as
Where else?
Thread.
Oh, jeez.
The alternative to Twitter.
Oh, God.
And also, most importantly, our website, masoniclight.com.
And our Facebook page.
And our Facebook. I said that earlier.
Did you? I wasn't listening.
First one I mentioned.
Who listens to this shit, Tim?
Nobody.
Really, honestly.
I know. In studio tonight, we have myself, Tim. We have Larry, whose voice is greatly improving.
Definitely, yeah.
He's medicated.
It's getting deeper now as we go on.
Medicated Larry. It's kind of like medicated Pete on...
Red or...
what is it? Shoot. Howard Stern.
Yeah, there you go.
We have Jack. We have Josh. And our special guest tonight is Brother Matthew Rancosky. Did I say that right?
Close enough. Yeah,
right.
It's Rancosky, but
Rancosky.
everybody thinks it's Kowski.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's like,
it's no
Kowski.
big deal. All right, we'll try to get that right.
Like Costco.
Yeah, Costco. There you go.
There you go.
He is the current worshipful master of, I always want to call it Gettysburg Lodge, but it's not. It is actually French. No.
Good
Nope.
Samaritan.
Try
Good
again.
Samaritan
Yeah,
Lodge.
there you
There we
go.
go.
Good
Good
Samaritan
Samaritan
Lodge.
Lodge.
I knew that.
Number
336.
336 in
Man.
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
And I'm not even the secretary extraordinaire.
Right.
And that's how I remember it right there. I got it tattooed on me.
Oh,
so-
look at there.
Yeah.
Keep that sleeve rolled up. I'll look over there.
Wow,
during
that's
the
a
show
road
tonight.
map. Holy moly.
Holy
336.
mackerel. That's good.
Yep.
Matt's got some sleeves.
Got some
Yeah.
sleeves for sure. All right. So it's been a while. It's been a minute since we've been here.
Has it been that long?
It's been a minute. It feels like it. A lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah.
I got to open my calendar so I can see
All
what I
right.
did.
Yeah, look at there. I've got them trained.
Yeah.
I've got them trained. They're bringing in electronic calendars and everything.
What did I do?
The question is, who will I go to first?
I'm ready.
Jack.
I'm not ready.
What have you been doing Masonically?
What color am I looking for on my calendar? I can't even tell. Well, I
Blue.
continue with my my new candidate mentoring, and we've got a couple of really fun, excited guys going through the line. It's always fun when the guys are excited about coming through and the degrees they're getting and the stuff they're learning. My last big event was at Kennett Square Lodge. I think it's actually called Kennett Lodge. I'm not sure, but Kennett Lodge.
Yep.
And I've and I gave an abbreviated version of my Saints John talk because they were having. Yeah, this is a scheduled meeting. They were having the district deputy visitation, me to present on Saints John, and a second degree.
Whoa.
So it was shaping up to be a long night, so I radically abbreviated it. If anybody wants to hear it, I'm going to be at New London Lodge in October, I believe. So I'll be able to get a little larger chunk of it out into space. But that's it. We had a stated meeting yesterday. We bought a bunch of tickets for tables for the annual grand banquet, and we'll talk about that sometime during the show, I'm sure. And we had a great meeting that we closed, and then we're doing a thing that's kind of working for us. And I'll throw it out there again. I've talked about it before. We have the stated meeting upstairs, business meeting, get it done as quick as you can, and then close the meeting and go downstairs to the social hall to have your program. Because now guys are comfortable. You can go get a something out of the refrigerator, a bottle of water, whatever. It's just a much more comfortable format to have the presentation. So we were joined virtually by our friend and former previous guest, Yasser Al-Khatib, who spoke to us about Freemasonry in the Middle East. And that was very interesting perspective on a part of the world that we really don't, as Freemasons, as American Freemasons, don't really spend a lot of time thinking about.
True.
But there's a lot of Masonic history there, going back to Bonaparte and the Egyptian invasion and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great time. A good time was had by all, as they say. No one was killed or maimed, and so that's kind of been my.
Was Brother Yasser healthy?
As far as I know.
Okay, we'll get to that more about that later.
Oh, okay.
Well, why I asked that.
There's a HIPAA violation about
Well,
to
I
happen.
know. We don't want to reveal stuff.
because we don't want any hippos in that room.
No hippos.
All right.
That's right.
So-
Larry.
Yes. What have I done?
I didn't even go to him
You
first.
need more
tonight.
medicine, Larry.
Yeah, you
Come
need
on.
more medicine.
I've done very little, actually. I'm very involved in Tall Cedars, as I think a lot of you know who listen a lot. This is my second year as Grand Tall Cedar. So we had an executive board meeting. We had other meetings as well and working that out. It's mostly been the past 3 weeks, Tall Cedars, Tall Cedars, Tall Cedars. And Ghost and Gridiron, of course, and some changes happening there. I can say this now because I'll announce it tomorrow. We're moving locations.
No.
After about 4 years.
Wow.
We're moving back to the old place up on the hill.
Change.
No way.
Yes.
Not the same-
The old
not the
movable
same
feast.
couple.
It's now called the Mountville Diner.
Okay.
And we've been there several times. We've talked, and
Talking
we're
to
going to
your
get our
mic,
room
Larry.
back. So it's going to be
Face
great.
your microphone, Larry, so
It's
that
gonna
the
be
people
great.
can hear you.
Going to be great. So that's what's going on my end. I didn't.
Consummate professional.
I'm losing my voice again. Hold on here a
Cough
second.
medicine.
Take some medicine.
Oh, boy. Anyway, what was I going to say? Didn't make lodge meeting, though, unfortunately. So, which I feel bad about. That's what's been happening in my world.
Okay. Brother Matt, what have
Yes,
you been up
sir.
to Masonically recently?
Oh, it's always a busy time for the Worshipful Master there. Keep going here. And summer's been slowing us down this. We went dark for the last couple months, but now we're starting to get back into the thing. We actually have a stated meeting tomorrow.
Nice.
7 o'clock, 7:30 there. So, yeah, like I said, it's been throughout the summer. I've been planning and stuff. Like I said, got a big event to come up here and soon to be. And
We'll talk about that at the end of the show.
Yes,
What?
sir.
An
Ooh,
event?
there's a teaser.
dun, dun, dun,
There's a teaser.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like that. We had our to close our before our summer. We had our official visit from our district deputy, and it was kind of he's retiring at the end of this year. So it was kind of like a big deal. We had a prime rib dinner and fancy there, and
Nice.
so yeah,
You have to go back and listen to our prime rib episode.
No, don't.
But yeah, that's what he said. So summer is always a little bit of a slower time for Masonic, but now everybody's back in our district getting up, and then we have our new district deputy announced there last Saturday breakfast there, and
And who is that?
Robert Crawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's our new district deputy starting in December 27th.
Yep.
12:01, I think the
Yeah.
official times are. You know,
Yeah.
they're ready to hand the keys over.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so ever since then, it's kind of going to be a busy time.
That's great. Well, thanks for being here tonight.
Absolutely.
Joshy, what have you been up to?
Absolutely nothing.
Huzzah.
Ha!
I did the podcast last time, of course.
Attaboy.
I did.
Which it must have been really good because we got 3 new Patreon supporters out of that episode.
They must
done.
have felt bad because I missed the beginning of the episode.
Well, that's okay. I did notice that you kind of
Yeah.
skipped a part. But
Dead
that's
air?
okay.
Is
I
that?
think, I think it starts at like a minute and a half into
Yeah.
it or something like
I thought it was my phone. I kept going back, going, wait a minute, start over, restart.
Yeah,
But it's
so
all good.
I just go 30, 30, 30, 30,
Yeah.
30. And then, oh, there it is. Yeah.
and I missed lodge meeting. I was on vacation, so
Vacation.
yeah, I took a little bit of time off.
Good
I
for
had to
you.
use my vacation time.
Good for you, though. Good. Well, actually, I had a whole calendar of things that I was going to share tonight,
Grab his phone.
but I went to Supreme Council of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of the Northern Masonic Jurisdiction of the United States of America. Their biannual meeting, they meet every other year, in Louisville, Kentucky, which is my home state, the
And
Commonwealth.
that is pronounced Louisville.
Louisville. That's
Louisville.
right. Louisville. Had a wonderful time. I was telling the guys before we started tonight that on the way in, we discovered that Buffalo Trace's release of the day was Weller's. And so I called the guys that were driving in behind us and said, hey, guess what? You're stopping at Buffalo Trace. Why? Because you're buying Weller's.
Because I told you to.
We don't like Weller's. Yeah, but I do. So you buy it, and I'm buying it from you. So anyway, good story. Anyway, had a great time. Excellent meeting. Most people believe that you have to be a 33rd or nominated for a 33rd to go. Au contraire, they invite 30.
Contraire, mon frere.
Yeah, they invite all 32nd degree Masons to go, and if you have never attended one, I would highly encourage you to do that. It is a fun week. There are a lot of great things that go on, and you can participate in everything except for the conferral of the 33rd, in which time you can go visit more distilleries in the area if you're in Louisville. Now, unfortunately, the next one's not in Louisville. It's in Indianapolis. But and had we stopped with the review of my trip there, it would all be good. Larry, you all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just taking a nap.
Taking a power nap over here. So literally like a day and a half after I get back, our friend and former guest secretary of the Big Valley of Harrisburg gets an email saying, you probably ought to alert folks that there's been an outbreak of COVID reported, just in case. So that night I went home and had a little bit of a scratchy throat, didn't think anything of it. Attributed it to the 5 or 6 cigars I was smoking every day. Wait a minute. I shouldn't say that out loud because my health insurance may find out. But anyway, lots of cigars, lots of bourbon. Anyway, the next day I woke up feeling like somebody hit me with a 2x4, and lo and behold, tested positive for COVID. Not really interesting. The facts of this are that 40-some people from just the Big Valley alone came back with that souvenir. Can only imagine that there were hundreds across the jurisdiction that came. And fortunately, no one that I'm aware of had a severe reaction, which was good. Because I was aware that had happened. As soon as I woke up the day with the symptoms, called my doctor and got on the Paxlovid and was on my way to a happy, healthy return. So anyway, I have had to curtail the cigar smoking for a couple of weeks while my lungs extricate all the phlegm. But and pretty much other than a stated meeting the day after Labor Day, which was the day after I was released from quarantine, that's been the end of my Masonic activities over the last couple of weeks because everything else got canceled because of the significant number of people that tested positive for COVID at that meeting.
And so it goes.
Yeah. Thanks for that report, Tim.
Yeah.
Good evening, sports fans.
Yeah. We may hear more about this later. I understand that there may have been
I bet we will.
I'm sure there's been.
That's why I was picking on you about the Rancosky there earlier. But, man, I've heard you say about 2 different towns, and I'm definitely going to mess with it. It's Louisville to me, and it's Lancaster.
Yeah.
And everybody's I get crucified for it.
Him.
Exactly.
Stone him.
That's what I say. I have my 2 11-year-olds at home that go, it's Lancaster. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I still 2 years I've been out in here and I still cannot pronounce it correctly.
So in Kentucky, if someone calls it something other than Louisville, you get this question.
There's no I. It's Louisville. Luhvull.
That's it. Louisville.
Sir, this is an English podcast too. We're going to teach you proper English.
Pulse of the world.
So you would get this statement in question. You're not from around here, are you?
Oh, God.
That reminds me of the time I was in Jamaica.
Followed by, what your daddy do?
That reminds me of the time in Jamaica when I was in the pool and I said something and these 2 ladies come up to me and said, "You're not from around anywhere, are you?" And she said, "You're from Pittsburgh or Philly?" And I go, "Yeah, Pittsburgh."
That was pretty good.
Yeah, and the thing about it is you don't hear yourself speak until like when I listen to this podcast later, I'm gonna be like, oh man, I'm really I'm a Yinzer. I can't get away from it. I'm a big Yinzer. I can't help it.
So I rode out to the meeting with the illustrious John D. Cook, 33rd degree secretary of the Big Valley, and we pulled into what I call Liquor Mecca, that is in Lexington, and we walked in and was greeted by, "Hey, honey, how you doing today? What you need? Can I help you?" And I looked at John. I said, "I'm home." And
I do notice that.
Slowly but surely, the accent returned, and I was.
Man! I lived in the South for a number of years. And it's a real easy accent to just kind of slide into.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it is, because I lived out when I worked in the coal mines out in Illinois. There, it was the same thing. It was like you pick it up, and then I lived in Jacksonville, Florida, and it was the same thing. And it's like as soon as you get south of Virginia, it like you open a door, and it's like 2 different worlds. It is. It's like you walk into a store, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing? Welcome," and you're like, "What?
Is my fly unzipped?"
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. You look down, you're absolutely right. It's a whole different world south, anywhere.
Yeah.
And then you lived down south for a number of years, and you moved back up north there. What the happened? We crossed the Mason-Dixon line.
That's a whole show.
That's a show in and of itself. Yeah.
Jeez.
All right, I do love my Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Yeah,
but all right, we're going to take a quick break, and we are going to come back with our special guest, Matt Rancosky.
There you go.
There we go. Got it right.
That was close. That was good.
Why choose George J. Grove & Sons for your next home improvement project? At George J. Grove & Sons, we've built our reputation on quality and trust for more than 50 years. From planning to materials to installation, George J. Grove promises a home improvement experience second to none. Whether your goal is reducing energy costs, decreasing maintenance, updating curb appeal, or simply increasing the value of your home, the George J. Grove team will recommend and provide solutions that stand the test of time. Call 717-393-0859 for an estimate or visit us at georgejgrove.com.
We have a church rule that I think we should implement here.
What's that?
If you call for prayer, you must lead it.
Oh, there you go.
God.
Right.
People go, should we close in prayer?
Is that like my somebody oughta
Then
thing?
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hey, we're back with Matt Rancosky, who is our guest tonight. Welcome, Matt. It's good to have you here.
Well done, Larry.
Excellent, Larry. Good job.
Okay, now
So,
what?
tell us a little bit about Matt.
Well, it all started
It was a dark and stormy night.
in the hospital when I was brought from darkness to truth. Light.
Yeah, now we can't hear him,
Now you
Josh.
can hear me now.
Come on, Josh. What are you doing to us now? Jeez.
All right.
Mm.
All right, you're fine. You're fine.
All right.
Go
Try
ahead.
again.
So we're back on there.
Yeah, you're
Ah,
back.
we're good.
Hey.
Yeah. See, this is new to me, so I don't know when you got to give me that
Yeah.
5, 4, 3. Because
We're just going to give you the one, brother.
You've obviously not seen this on the front end before.
No, I haven't seen that. But no, it's like I said, to tell me a little bit about my stuff. I started off. Originally grew up in Pittsburgh. Was born and raised there in that area in the Washington Uniontown area, and after my dad he passed away there, I moved to Monongahela for a little bit, and married my ex-wife at the time, and she took a job here in Gettysburg, and we moved out here, and I kind of was how I started off in Freemasonry is like if we're going to start from the beginning here. Is I actually had a friend back in Pittsburgh and because I worked with a bunch of guys in the mines, and they were all Freemasons, and I would always see it, and everybody would be like, "Oh, you can't talk about it; it's secret. They can't tell you anything." And I'm like, "All right, and like I kept, I would ask, and guys would be like, "Yeah, we'll see, we'll talk to you," and I'm like, "All right, and then nobody ever did anything. So years later, I had met my ex-wife at the time. And her friend was a Mason back in Pittsburgh. And, me and him started talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll get you joined. It's not a big deal. It's, we would love to have you. You're a great guy, and it's like, cool, So we were getting all that process ready to go, and she took a job here in Gettysburg, and I'm like, well, I'm moving out here now with you. So he's like, you can take a petition with my signature and then go. So it was funny because all the guys laugh at our lodge because I came with a petition in hand. Like they didn't even have to give me one.
That's cool.
So
That's awesome.
I met with one of our brothers, Trace Sapp, and we talked it over. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I told him why I wanted to join Freemasonry, and like, he's like, yeah, you seem like a really great fit. So I started. And actually, what was funny about it is all the events were going on, like the public events were going on before, and it was right at the close of the, where before everybody went darker, and so I still joined along with everything. And they always laugh, and they always said, you did more stuff not being a Mason than most Masons do being a Mason. Right. So it was kind of cool. Like I got through, and then I got my first degree, and I'm like, I like this. This is pretty cool, And what was really what was great about the year when I became a Mason was it was the first year that they opened up the meetings to the first degree into the first degree.
Oh, cool.
So with our past Grand Master Harrod, he did that, and so I actually got to see, my first meeting, I got to see it, and I'm like, this is cool. And I'm like, and I looked towards the east, and I told my mentor, actually, and that was a new program they started too, to have the district deputies take on a mentee. Mm-hmm. And our district deputy, took on me as a mentee. So I've been his, his mentee there, and like following and trying to follow in the footsteps of our current district deputy, Brother Darren Katz there. And so, I was going everywhere with him, and I was like his, it was like mini-me. And that's actually, I got a little nickname, the son of the district deputy. And but here's the thing about that story, and this is I really wanted to tell this story because it was just hilarious. It started off as a joke in our lodge, and at that time, the worshipful master was Pete Matthews, and he gave me the name. Oh yeah, you're the son of the district deputy. And anytime we do the rehearsal, I was always the district deputy, and I would come in, and I would do it like that. And he's like. So we started doing that, it was always a joke inside the lodge, and, it started to get an indoor district where now people were starting to refer to me as the son of the district deputy, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is, okay, we're still just in our district, So we go into a luncheon with our, at the time, the current Grandmaster, Harriet was out there, and he sits down, as soon as we sit down, he goes, I heard you're the son of the district deputy. And I went, I think this joke went a little too far. And he loved it. He was all in good humor, and we laughed about it. So, yeah, it was just an amazing. So it was just kind of one of those things that we, sing. But, I've got a great opportunity in there. And one of the things that whenever I got done with my first meeting, I looked up at the east and I said, I'm going to be there one day.
Cool.
And that was just one of those things, like, it was just a passion right off the bat. As soon as I seen it, I was like, I want to be up there in the east. And I was like, and Brother Darren looked at me and said, I have no doubt in my mind. With the passion you bring into this, and it's like, that's where I was, I've been ever since, and getting there and stuff like that. And then after my divorce, after my divorce with my wife there, I met my current wife, and she lived in Lancaster, and I lived in Hanover at the time. And
Lancaster.
Okay. Yeah.
What'd your daughter say?
Lancaster, California.
Yeah, Lancaster. They tell me Lancaster. You can say, and I can't.
Lancaster.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it.
Kind of like Louisville.
Lank.
Yeah.
It's just Lank.
Lancaster.
Ister.
Okay.
Lancaster.
Kister. K-I-S-T.
LC. Yeah. But no, I was living in Hanover. Yeah, I was living in Hanover at the time, and I was dating my current wife now, and I was traveling back and forth. And when we started getting real serious, and before we got married, I was like, it was easier for me to move down here. So then, our district deputy came to me and was like, am I going to have to find? This time I was sitting in the South at the time, and he's like, am I going to have to find somebody to get back in line? Or so? I was like, nope. I said, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to stick with it. And I drive about an hour and a half to get there, and that's what I've been doing this year. Just I drive about an hour and a half to get to the lodge, and I kind of do one of those things where I try to plug everybody into one day, and like it's like a Sunday afternoon, I'll drive up the Gettysburg, and I'll handle everything in like one shot. Try to get it all done in one shot, so I don't have to make too many trips. But
yeah, no, that's all right.
But
that's great.
This week's been efficient. This will be a busy week though, because I was up there. I usually have a officer meeting a week prior to the Sunday prior to the stated, and then I had like with tonight, and then tomorrow's our stated meeting, and then now Saturday's our extra meeting. So I'll be busy this week masonically. Only one day a month, they say. Yeah, it'll be fun, they say.
That's what they say. Yeah. Till we're sure the hook is set.
Yeah, my wife got a taste of that now. She they're telling her all the horror. She's like, babe, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Don't let them scare you. Don't let them scare you. I'm like, it's not that bad. And then she's like, it's that bad. Yeah, so she was definitely she's been a trooper with everything. She's definitely my rock in this situation. She puts up with a lot and stuff like that. So I definitely am very thankful to have her.
But it's worth it though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's tough, but it's worth
100%. If anybody I tell. The one thing about it I can say, though, it is the most rewarding position you'll ever hold, no matter if you're the district deputy, any position. The worshipful master is by far the most rewarding and just great position to be in when you're there. And to sit there and you just realize and just even this organization in general, is just, it realize that you are just a speck of dust in a world of just a desert, you know what I mean? It's just crazy.
How many members do you have at Good Samaritan?
Total,
Ballpark.
Ballpark. We have like 300 some members.
That's what I was
and
thinking.
Yeah, 300 some members. I think they asked me this. You hit me with a question. I should have had notes here though, but
doesn't
they
work.
had me on that.
There's a little tiny pad there.
Yeah,
You can-
I got interviewed by the Freemason magazine twice this year, and we have articles about our lodge as a highlight, and then we have with this walk that I'm doing here, we're going to talk about too, and they and that's what they asked me all these questions, the same thing. How many members you have? And I'm like, I had to go to our trestle board. I'm like,
we don't ask questions we don't already know the answer
Yeah,
to.
no worries.
Exactly.
Anyway, so and the feeling that those 300 members have put their trust in you to lead.
Oh yeah,
Isn't that just amazing?
It is, and I make jokes about it because when you first get up there, I mean, like I was telling you earlier, you get real nervous and you're like talking real quiet and you don't want to say anything wrong and you just want to make sure everything's right and like you get nervous and then you get like a few months into it and you just get this boost of confidence. It's just you stand up there and you're just like, this ain't nothing. I got this.
Exactly.
It's like. And it's just real. You're just like, you get up there, like, you're just like, I can do this anytime, any day of the week.
And then two things happen. Summer comes and you call off. And then the next thing you know, you're holding the election for your successor.
It's
and you're
over,
like,
yeah.
Whoa, what happened?
I know, and
You
that's
only get about 4
I'm just now
months
getting
of-
good at this.
yeah, and that's what you're exactly right. You just, and it was funny. You pick up, I was like, you have all these dreams and you have all these hopes. You want to make all these changes and everything. And I said, I'm going to make a list, pick 3. And hope 1 gets done.
There you go.
And that's the best advice I can give any upcoming worshipful master.
that's good.
Is pick something that like is just really you're passionate about, and pick one thing that you can do and you can accomplish, because those other 15 other things that you want to do, there's just no time to do it. And you just try to pass that along to the next worshipful master, but you never know what he wants to do, and he has the same different thoughts, and some of them But that was one of the things we did in the last 3 worshipful masters here that we've been doing is we've been talking with each other and saying, okay, I don't want to start something that you won't finish. And, so what did you want to start this year that I can finish next year? And then so on and so on. So we have like a little brain trust meeting before we change hands. And that's been really successful like this year.
That's a great technique.
Yeah.
That kind of continuity is really important. And
Oh, absolutely.
Not enough lodges actually do it in that.
I know the Grand
Succession.
Lodges started to talk about that
It's
recently
little
for the last
things, right?
several
I mean,
years. Yeah, and it is.
It's little things done, repeatedly that build habits.
If it's a good program, then it's going to sustain, and do. You talked at dinner, and we always beat ourselves up about this because we talk to our guests beforehand, and it's like some of our best shows are sitting at the dinner table. You talked about your kind of mentality about change.
Oh,
and
yeah.
about, let's throw this grenade into the middle of the room and see what happens.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's been my platform this year is just making the subtle changes. And what I said at dinner was I usually like throw a rock into the water and see if it makes some waves and and it makes anybody upset. And I'm like, well, that didn't make anybody too upset, and everybody's kind of swimming now. So we're like, okay, this is cool, But yeah, that's been mostly the mentality this year is just, throwing those little subtle things like with social media and like things with the websites and like kind of like, going things with email and like, we're kind of like, as we say, moving forward a little bit this year. And then our next worshipful master, who's Dave Jenkins, he's going to be coming in, and he is a tech guru. And he's already, like, foaming, ready to go with the technology and, like, get everybody, like, going with it. So, and that's the thing about it is there's certain people that that'll just thrive, and he is definitely one of those gentlemen who will thrive in the technology world and be able to take our lodge even further what I've done this year for sure. So, and that's one of the biggest things that like a lot of times you get worshipful masters who like, it's like, okay, I'm the worshipful master. And, but technically, I mean, I'm a name on a piece of paper. I mean, it's the people, the members, the officers. I cannot thank my officers enough this year. And from time to time, like for articles, if people read about me or say anything, and it's like, it's not about me. It's about my lodge and what we're doing together. And it's just like, and I think a lot of people lose track of that. Like they don't thank enough of their people. And I think that's where sometimes we need to be better about is like as worshipful masters is just like those are the people who make and break you. And it's like even when my dad, he was a boss for 30 years, and he would tell me as a foreman, he would say, listen, man, he's like, your men make and break you. They can make you look like a hero, or they can make you look the worst possible thing in the world. So he's like, treat your men great, and he said they'll treat you great. And that's what I try to do. Like I try to be very respectful to everybody, try to talk to everybody and say, hey, listen, what do you think? Or what would you do in this situation? Because it's like I rather have your opinion, because I like, when somebody says, okay, you'd be like, well, I'm just I'm a pursuant. I'm just an appointed officer. No, you're part of this thing here that we got going on. So
it's a team.
Yeah, and I mean, tell you what, those are sometimes you don't have to be a junior warden, senior warden, or a secretary or an elected officers to have like really great ideas. Because I've taken a lot of the ideas that the guys have told me this year, and they've said stuff, and I'm like, yeah, let's run with it. And then I'm like, yep, that's the guy who said that, not me. And they're like, oh, great. And that's what I think. That's why we're thriving as a lodge this year, is because I think I'm trying to get everybody to step in and do stuff. Like I had guys do the charges and different things this year in meetings, and so that's what I've been trying to do as worshipful masters this year, is just expand out a little bit better on stuff, for sure.
You've done a good job. I just want to bring one thing to mention to you. You had mentioned earlier about your wife saying it's a little bit much.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get to a point in your marriage, guaranteed, that your wife is going to say to you, don't you have a meeting to go to tonight?
Yeah.
It will happen.
Yeah, that's...
It will happen. And then you start to think, damn, what can I do to get out of the house? She doesn't want me here. So get ready. It will take place.
Join something else.
Yeah, that's what I said. Everybody's calling me to get something else, because I'm busy, but like I could definitely be a little busier, hit times sometimes with the Masonic thing. But
Carol is always so happy to see when I knock on the door.
Oh,
She knows Larry's leaving the house. She's like, thank God you're taking him to a meeting.
Yeah.
This is good. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with our guest, Matt.
As far back as the mid-1800s, records exist describing the pre-meeting tradition of brethren smoking cigars during and after gatherings. To this day, the practice of smoking cigars remains very much alive in many lodges. This custom is considered a time for brethren to relax, exchange ideas, and enjoy the simplicity and fellowship that is the very essence of our brotherhood. This is what Hiram Solomon Cigars is all about. Our starting principles are to bring Masonic brethren together in the harmony of a good cigar. Pull up a chair, sit back, light up any of our premium cigars, and enjoy the history. Hiram Solomon Cigars can be found at fine cigar retailers. For a complete list, visit HiramSolomonCigars.com or check them out on social media to find out when they'll be at a live event near you. Hiram Solomon Cigars is pleased to be the official cigar of the Masonic Light Podcast.
And we're back with Brother Matt, who, Matt, you're actually, one of the things that caught our attention about what you're doing is what you personally are doing. And you have decided that you're going to do a charity walk. So tell us a little bit about that charity walk.
Well, yeah, it's funny because you're talking about this walk here, and everybody thinks I'm crazy. I mean, I've had so many nuts.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, that's what I said. They all think. So one day I'm driving down the road, and I'll kind of tell you where it brought from here. And you just sit there, and you're just like, sometimes you hear certain things, you do listen to music and stuff. And I was actually listening to a song. It's called "Home" by Mike Posner. And it talks about he lost his dad to cancer, which I lost my dad to pancreatic cancer about 10 years ago. And so like that was like my best friend. I mean, he was absolutely my best friend, mentor. I mean, I knew, and that was one of the biggest reasons why I joined Freemasonry, because I was lost. I mean, I was lost as a person at that time. And so I was driving down the road. I hear this song, "Home" by Mike Posner, and I'm just like, I'm listening, and tears are flowing from my eyes. I'm just sitting there, And, one of the things that I seen is he walked across the whole United States. Mm-hmm. And, he attempted it the first time, and he had injuries and he couldn't do it. Then he did it again and he accomplished it. And I'm like, that would be cool. But I'm like, I am not rich, so I cannot take off like 6 months of work. So I was like, what could I do that's like just a lower version of that? And I'm like, I could walk the whole state of Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And I'm like,
that's insane.
I'm like, so I started like looking at the maps, and I'm like, I wonder how far it is from Pittsburgh to like Philadelphia. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, that's a little too far. And next thing you know, I start kind of like looking up certain things. So I look at it and I find that our current Grandmaster his home lodge is like right outside of where I grew up. And I'm like, okay, that's more reasonable. And I look at the mileage from there, and I'm like, 268 miles. I'm like, how many miles a day would that be? And I started thinking about it, and I was like, 26 miles a day. I'm like, that's not bad. I can, that's a marathon every day for 10 days straight. But I'm like, just walking. And I'm like, nah, I'm like, is that possible? I kept thinking, I said, yeah, it is possible. I'm like, I could do this. So I started in my head, and I'm like, I'm going to do this. And like, I just like pump myself up. I'm listening to this song. I'm like, you get these ideas, and I'm like, I'm going to call my wife right now. And I was telling you guys earlier, and she's like, and I call her, I'm like, guess what I'm going to do? And she's like, what? And I'm like, I'm going to walk the state of Pennsylvania. And she's like, that's awesome. You should do that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're supposed to say.
You're supposed to want to say you're crazy.
Yeah, you're supposed to say as a wife, you're supposed to say, that is a stupid idea. And I'm like, it's like, that's the problem with my wife is she is like 100% in my corner. She is my cheerleader. And she is, no matter what I say, and I'm like, hey, I want to buy this. She's like, okay, you should buy 2 of them. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, no, you're supposed to not say that kind of things. But yeah, she's like, no, that's a great idea. And I'm like, you know what? I should do this for charity. So like, I started like planning out in my head. And I'm like, started telling. I didn't mention it too much around, just in case it was like, you know what? I can't get time off. I can't do this. I can't do that. So I was kind of quiet about it for the first month or so. This was back in like January. I decided I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm like, you know what? And then finally I started like making this a reality. I'm like, man, I could do this. So I'm looking at the dates, the times, when I can take vacation. And like, I'm like, I can do this in 10 days. I'm like 268 miles, 10 days. That's 26 miles a day. Stop. I'm like, and then one day I walked 26 miles just to see how long it would take me. And I'm like, it took me about 6 to 8 hours. I'm like, that's being bothered with nobody, just straight walking, stopping a little bit here and there every once in a while, good pace. I'm like, this is becoming a reality. I'm like, I can do this. And I was like, I'm going to do this. So I started telling different brothers and different things and, what I'm doing. And they're like, yeah, man, that's a great idea. Let's do it for charity. And I'm like, cool. And I'm like, well, what charity should I do it for? And then I'm like, well, we should do it. Like, we have our one brother who's my senior deacon. He started back up our Squires chapter in Gettysburg. And they just started out and they're doing amazing, and I'm like, and they're just starting out. So I'm like, I would try to get some funding for them. So I'm like, I should do it for the Masonic Youth Foundations.
What's the Squires for people that might not know?
The Squires they're like D-Malay, but for the younger, they're like the Cub Scouts.
Okay.
If they're the boys, that's the Cub Scouts for the Boy Scouts. So they're the starters there.
Yep.
I couldn't quote the age group right now, so that's my
but
facts a little bit.
D-Malay.
Yeah, it's younger than D-Malay.
I believe it's 8 to 12.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. And so Jeff Hoffman, and his wife Shelley have been just amazing with this group and just starting it up. But I'm like, you know what? I should start raising money for them. And I'm like, then I started again. I'm like, man, I could get the Grand Lodge involved in this. So I sat down and I wrote a personal letter to our Grand Master. And I'm like, I gave it to our district deputy to proof it and send it in. And next thing you know, it was like a week or two later, I get an email reply and it says, hello, Brother Matthew, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I look down, I'm like, wait a minute. This is our email from our Grand Master. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh. I'm like, at first I'm reading and I'm thinking, oh, it's just spam, Grand Master. And then I read down and it's like, and then at the end it said, sincerely and fraternally, Brother
Jeffrey
Wonderling. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is from our Grand Master. So they had to reread it.
Yeah.
And like, next thing you know, he's like, I love your idea. I love your enthusiasm. I want to invite you the night before to come to my home. Me and my wife will treat you dinner and give you a place to stay for the night prior to the walk. And I'm like, And it was like 5 minutes later, our district deputy, Darren there, he calls me. He's like, hey, did you get an email? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, that's pretty cool, huh? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, and he's like, that's so, and he backed it a 100% backing. Cool. And he thinks, and then also I'm doing it for the Widows Fund too. I threw in a little, extra there to help with the widows too as well. And so, yeah, I'll be starting in our Pleasant Valley Masonic Center outside of Connellsville, PA, and I will be traveling to our Grand Lodge, which I've talked to the Grand representatives from Grand Lodge and actually it'll be my first time at the Grand Lodge. I've never been in the Grand Lodge,
so I made it. Be cool.
What an end!
Now the problem is you're going to be worn out, but you're going to have to climb the steps and go look around.
You know what? The thing is like I think adrenaline will just be like. It just the amount of adrenaline when you're coming into the city and you're just like, you know what, it's getting close to the end and it's experience and stuff it's going to be. It's like, and my plan is like to not just walk across the place, but just talk to other Masons. I want other Masons to come out and talk to me and share their story and talk about their lodges. And that's not the whole point. Is just to go across the whole state, just connecting our state as one. And that was the whole purpose of this walk, is just not just raise money for charity, but also just be able to connect with different brothers, be a traveling. Everybody's already nicknamed me the Masonic Gump. You know, it's already starting, and we're actually talking
go
about
home now.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired. You know, it's like, but yeah, we're gonna. It's funny. Everybody's already in my area. They're already talking about like T-shirts and like they're gonna stand on this road and like dance and stuff and like
that's awesome.
And it's just gonna be a cool experience, you know. And and that's everybody's asking me about different things. They're like, "Are you ready?" And I'm like. And they're like, oh, are you ready? Have you been going? I'm like, yeah, I think I'm fine. I'm good. And the biggest thing is not the walking part of it. It's worrying me. It's the being successful and raising the money. I'm like, it makes me always nervous. Is like, nobody's going to donate. Everybody's going to not. It's going to be a failure.
So for those that are interested in supporting you in this, how can they do that? What's the mechanism for being a donor or supporter or whatever? How do you do that?
So you can visit our website. It's GettysburgFreemasons.org, and then you click on the events section, and it'll say the walk. And then we also have a section in there for businesses. And I would recommend, if you're a business right now, get in really quick. We can sponsor or you can be a sponsor for the walk, and I will advertise for you, walking like NASCAR. We'll talk about the business on Facebook Lives. So the plan is to do Facebook Lives all the way across the state.
Cool.
All the time. I'm going to be pretty much on Facebook pretty much the whole time, just talking about different walks. Hopefully I get guys to come out and join me so I have company. 'Cause it might get a little lonely at times, but in a way that's kind of good too, kind of time to reflect and stuff. And because you're going to have those days where I'm going to be like mile 20 on day 3, and I'm going to hate myself for why they were absolutely.
I'm thinking mile 2 on day 1.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'd be on the 3rd step coming down the
what was that
door.
Thing?
Yeah, that's like they said. I'm going to be in like day 3 on mile like 20, and I'm going to be like, this was a stupid idea. But now and then I'm going to realize, you know what, this is what I'm doing it for, and it's like you're just amazing. I listened to a motivational speaker one time, and he says, when you feel like you've done everything you possibly can as a person, and your body's just ready to shut down, you still have 40% more. And that's just one of those quotes that I've just taken myself to any time, is like that. No matter how bad you think it's going to be, you've still got more in you.
Still got some of the
tank, and now I have no problem doubting in my walking ability and like exercise. Actually, that's what I was telling you guys earlier. I lost close to 100 pounds.
Wow!
And like not to prepare for this, but just in general to get healthy. So it's kind of cool. Like they see pictures of me now and pictures then like last year, and it's like whoa, like yeah.
So have you established like stations along the way? People are going to meet you there. You're going to have a place to stay and that kind of stuff. Are you utilizing other lodges for that, or just people that you know?
No, absolutely. One of the things was, as I reached out a few different lodges throughout my walk, there's only a few that are in that route. I looked at, Somerset is where my first stop's going to be, and I actually talked to some brothers that know connections through there, so he's actually currently setting that up. And then The actually only hotel is like in the middle between Somerset and Chambersburg. There's 3 different locations that are just like one's couple are little motels.
Do they have hotels there?
They on 30. There's not a lot of hotels to choose from at those 26 and 30 mile marks. So like I'd find
there's
one.
an old abandoned fort.
Yeah,
you can camp out in the fort.
You know what? I even said I'm gonna take a tent as a backup just in case. You know what I mean?
You need a security detail.
Yeah. You know what? That's what's funny about it is everybody's asking me about that part of it, and that one thing don't worry me too much. You know what I mean? People have offered once I get out towards Chambersburg area, then it becomes like home now, and like I've got from Chambersburg all the way into. Westchester.
Okay.
I even contacted brothers from Westchester. They're just amazing. They're already like, we got you. Don't worry about it. So I'm 100% covered from Chambersburg all the way into Westchester for staying, and then Westchester to Philly is like the last day of walking. So. And then actually our new district deputy, Robert Krall there, he's actually involved with the state police, and I actually submitted a form to him with the route and my plans and day by day itinerary and stuff. So he's going to submit it to the different barracks and stuff. So hopefully they'll see what I'm doing, and that's what we were talking about earlier about that funny story.
I was going to say the timing on this is pretty good.
Yeah, I got lucky because I was getting a little nervous because this fugitive was out on the loose here in Pennsylvania. So one of the things I was like a little bit nervous was like I was going to have that one old lady in the middle of nowhere.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous because I was afraid that I was going to have that one old lady out in the middle of nowhere in the country on Route 30 who goes, hey, that guy kind of looks like that fugitive. I'm going to make a phone call. Next thing you know, I've got K9 tackling
dogs
me.
Chasing you.
And all I'm doing is like, all I'm doing is trying to raise money for the children.
I'm a Freemason. I'm a Freemason.
It's for the kids.
Yeah, doesn't matter. You're a fugitive. No, I'm not a
Be
fugitive.
throwing the hailing sign.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll be like getting attacked by the K9, raising my hands. Like that's what I said. So now I was actually thankful that they caught the guy because I'm like, that was a little bit of a relief that I knew that I was going to be safe as a hitchhiker across. And now I'm just worried about like the Rambo movies, like having that young or that old time sheriff and like, what are you doing in my town,
what
boy?
you doing in my town?
Yeah, like I'm just passing through, man.
Just to walk in.
So when are you scheduled to arrive at Grand Lodge?
October 9th. That's a Monday there. So my plan is actually, and all the stars have had lined with this story. I mean, it truly has. I'm starting in right where I grew up in Uniontown the most, like 20 minutes away from where I grew up. September 30th is actually my dad's birthday.
Cool.
That I'm starting, and it's the 10-year anniversary that he's been passed away. So it's just like these have all lined up. I mean, to do this walk, I mean, there you can't get any more signs of like this is what you need to do in your life. This is the mark you need to make. This is something that you got to complete. And I'm like, yep, for sure. So
I'm still stuck on your last day. You'll be in Westchester, and you're going to go into Philadelphia. How many miles is that?
It's like, I think I looked on the maps where I end in Westchester, and I'm going to get lodging there. I think it's like 28 miles.
28 miles.
Yeah. So what my plan is to do on day 10 when I get up, I'm going to get up super super early because I'm working with our brother Krall there. He's going to start looking at anything because I was looking at the map where I got to go through, and even in the daytime, I got to go through a section of West Philly, and everybody's like, I don't know if you want to go through that section.
No,
so
you're fine.
Yeah,
in the daytime you're fine.
Yeah, that's what I figure. My golden rule is if you act like you belong there, you're good. Like it's just one of those things. Like just go where you need to go. Like I have a sister-in-law who's like that.
Philly's part of my sales territory, and it's fine. Nobody's going to bother you.
That's what I say. You know what? I'm not. My thing is I'm. I want to get up early in the morning because I actually want to be at the Grand Lodge at a decent time, like where I walk into the Grand Lodge and end it and stuff, and
collapse in the vestibule.
Yeah. That's pretty much like, oh, hey, I'm just here. It's a little tiring.
So you're arriving on Monday the 9th. That's Columbus Day.
There you go. There's another.
There you go.
Indigenous People Day.
Indigenous People Day.
Columbus was a Mason, wasn't he? I read that on the internet.
who
I think
knows?
I saw that.
I don't think so.
Let's see if we can start a thing.
But anyway, so there's not like a parade in downtown Philly surrounding
South Street.
South.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're trying to get together, but I mean, we're working on it here. That's what I said. That's why I contacted our Grand Master. His word usually holds a little bit more weight than mine does on Facebook. So
What? Really?
Yeah, I mean, you would think, Matt, they. When you say Matt Rancosky and Brother Jeffrey Ling, I mean, people know him a little bit better than me. So, I mean, that's one of those things. So I'm thankful that, he is, promoting this and help me, do these things like this. And then being on shows like this, you gentlemen are awesome for helping me out too as well, getting the word out. And as I said, I'll be plugging that for a lot there. That's GettysburgFreemasons.org. Click on events there. So or follow us on our Facebook page.
Say it again.
Yeah.
Talk about your Facebook page.
Facebook's page is Good Samaritan Lodge number 336. So that's something that's growing up, blowing up big time. So follow us on Facebook and I'll be like the little Where's Waldo bouncing ball that goes across the state. I'm going to be marking
are they
that.
going to track you on a map, kind of where you're stopping and stuff?
Yep. So I'm gonna make up a thing where I'm gonna be, and then my wife's already contacted me and told me my location has to be on all times. I'm definitely gonna turn it off here and there just to mess with her. So you gotta do stuff like that a little bit.
You got a good one.
Yeah,
She's willing to play along.
We're not going to tell her, though.
Yeah.
She may listen to this episode.
Yeah, she's definitely going to listen to the episode because she's like, I'm so proud of you for being on this show. And I'm like, so wait till you hear what I say.
Don't turn your locator off.
No, I won't turn my locator off.
Don't do it.
So, no.
As Pete would say, all 28 listeners will be happy to hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and we will come back, and
I think we need to play Copious Dues.
We'll play Copious Dues when we come back. I think we'll have probably Walter before we
Walter
come back,
will be
too.
joining us, yes.
All right.
Take a break.
In Masonic news today, this month, the Grand High Muckety Mucks of the most excellent and high order of exalted supreme high right met at the Walmart in Ashtabula, Ohio, where dozens of muckety mucks were further elevated to the extreme degree of grand greatness. Upon their arrival at home, 407 of them were found to have brought home the COVID virus. So when someone takes your hand and asks, "What is this?" the answer is sanitizer. Use it. That's the Masonic news. So mote it was.
Well done, Brother Walter, and welcome back. Man, it has been a long summer. Brother Walter has been missing, but he came back with a blast.
I had to look down. I'll be honest with you. I looked down. I was like, I don't want to ruin this guy's flow. I'm like, I don't not want to ruin this. Now I see why when I listen to podcasts and I listen to things and I'm like, how do they get through that stuff? And I'm like, how does everybody just sit around?
You don't make eye contact.
They can't just
you don't make eye contact.
Don't look at me.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
That's it. No. Again, as a representative of those who brought back more souvenirs.
I'm
than
not
they
saying
intended
anything
to.
about any particular event.
I don't know, but
The characters represented are fictional.
actually,
Dutchy Doug.
So I think we got a Dutchy Doug in the nope. Okay, Dutchy Doug, send us something.
Well, he started school. So
I know. It is interesting because someone on the cigar porch texted me after I got home, and this was before they knew I had COVID. But they did say, just curious, was Brother Walter present in Louisville? And I said, oh, yeah.
He'll be talking about that. I don't know what you're talking about, Tim.
Yeah,
it has nothing
exactly.
to do with anything that might have happened in Louisville.
So, again, I'll just say that if you have the opportunity to go, in spite of the souvenir that some of us brought home, take that opportunity. So, Brother Matt, again, about your walk. Remind us again how we can make sure that, again, we were doing like drunken math. And if
Who was?
If-
I don't know what you're talking about.
right, if brethren would contribute 10 cents a mile, 10 as little as 10
cents, people.
a mile.
10 cents a mile.
10 cents a mile.
Of a buck.
For less than a cup of coffee.
The
Yes.
price of coffee in 1963.
Yes, exactly.
Come on.
Only you remember, Larry.
Yeah. So if you are a listener to this show, we highly recommend you to go to
That's GettysburgFreemasons.org. And then click on the events, and you can donate on that page here. We have a link there you can donate to, or you said as a business, you can, if you get time in now, if you have a business that you'd like to promote and be like NASCAR, I'll be coming across, like talk about my sponsors and
Do you
stuff.
have an official shoelace sponsor?
who's
not
the
yet.
shoelace sponsor?
Okay.
Well, you know
Well,
what?
you know.
The thing is I did, we did have to. I did go through a different couple pairs of shoes and find the right ones and stuff like that. And actually, we're talking about it at the lodge. We're talking about bronzing the shoes and like putting them in our library.
And
So what
you
size
should.
T-shirt do you wear if a business wanted to send you a T-shirt?
Well, I wear a medium now since
Medium?
I'm nice and slim
I'm
and fit
impressed.
now. You know.
Nice.
I haven't
I
seen
hate-
medium
I
since
hate you
middle
more.
school.
Yeah, everybody hates me. That's why I said the guys at my lodge, as they're, I'm sitting there eating like with them. They're just like, I hate you so.
Right.
bad."
I understand.
It's like you used to be a lot bigger, and I'm like, yeah, I can't help it. That's like,
Yeah, if you lost 100 pounds, you must have been, what, 280?
No, I was at. Well, here we go. Guessing game at the fair here.
There you go.
no,
That's coming up in a minute.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
coming-
yeah.
The guessing game's
Yeah, the
coming up.
guessing game. But no, I was actually my heaviest weight. I was 265, and then I'm down to one. I got down to 165.
You're
and then-
saying there's hope for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
all right, I got
so yeah, I got down to 165, and now I teeter between 165 and 170 now. So on a good day, depending on if I cheat every once in a while, I like some ice cream. So
Hey, cheat
But
days
yeah.
are good.
5th grade, anyway.
yeah, but yeah, so,
Golly.
So,
medium
yeah.
for t-shirts.
All right, so Josh, do you have our theme song for our new edition?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Copious Dudes. Yay! All right, we're gonna play a little game tonight. Larry hates everything, so he's hating this game.
There's no food involved. so
We're
Larry
gonna
doesn't like
we're
it.
gonna play another episode of Copious Dudes tonight. We have with us Matt Rancosky, the Wandering Mason, traveling across Pennsylvania. Ron, it's been explained to you how this game works, and you're going to write down on that small pad of paper approximately how much you pay in dues for Masonic bodies every year. No, not including banquets
Okay,
or
Dues.
travel.
just my
This
dues.
is
Dues.
just my dues, right?
just the dues.
Copious dudes.
Just the dues, man. Just the dues.
Now we have to guess.
We are going to guess, and the winner receives absolutely nothing. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, I love it.
So Larry, you're on.
You're up,
I might be on, but I don't know what bodies he belongs
brother.
to.
No, that's
You-
the point.
That's the point. You have
the
to guess.
conversations we've had with him, you have to determine.
You have to determine
what
How
you think.
popular am
Copious
I?
His level of
dues.
dues.
Well, when we did Jason,
It doesn't matter.
we knew what he was
I
in.
don't
No,
care.
we really
No,
didn't.
really.
We didn't
Anyway,
really.
but we're playing this game today, not that game then. So let's have it, Larry.
Larry.
What do you think Matt pays in dues?
Well, he doesn't belong to Grotto, so I can discount.
Well, we know that.
Well, that can be fixed.
I'd say probably $650.
$650 from Larry.
$650. Ooh, Larry's
Joshy.
strong.
$112.35.
All right.
Josh, is somebody writing this down? I should write this down.
You should write this down.
Okay, let's hang on.
$650.
$650 and $126.
Larrel's is $650 even.
I feel like I'm on the Price is Right. So I'm
Exactly.
gonna say $1.
Same
One-
Josh.
Well, that was Josh.
Josh,
$1.
$112.35.
$112.35. All right. Timmer, what do you say?
I'm going to go $112.37.
I'm going to say I haven't heard you mention any appendant bodies. I think you pay about $110 a month, a year.
All right. So now, review our entries here, Jack.
All right. Do we have the without going over clause?
It cannot
in
be
this?
going over.
Ah, geez, I should
Yeah.
probably lower mine then. Larry has guessed $6,437,000.
Number of listeners in the universe.
Shut up, Larry. Josh, 112 and some change. Tim, 112 and
1 penny more.
2 cents more change. And Jack is a little bit under that, but I think I'm going to miss this because I think I'm going to go over. Matt, tell us, what do you pay every year in dues?
I pay $260.
Whoa!
I'm a part of 2 organizations, Blue Lodge and Scottish Rite.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
See,
and
you
I'm
need to
sure
reveal
after
that was good.
and after this episode, I feel like I'm gonna have people sending business cards to me and saying,
There you
"Hey,
go.
you should join our."
What was that total again?
Yeah, what's that?
What was that total again?
$260.
260. So Jack.
So no, you are the winner.
Yeah,
Tim,
Oh.
Tim is the winner because he was 2 cents
Tim
more.
was 112.37.
Wow.
To Josh's 112.35. So
and you were just slightly over.
no, I was under. I
Under,
was
yeah,
110. I was
110,
110.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to pay
Wah,
attention.
wah,
To it's important.
No, I stayed,
I could increase that, okay, by $150 for $150 for Grotto, $40 for Tall Cedars. You need to join, and you live in Lancaster.
Yeah,
And we're all here.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's what I said. They
watch
all,
watch your email. You're
I'm gonna be getting emails.
We
Don't
can add
be
$200. I'm getting close to the six.
But I am
Yeah.
glad to hear that you're a member of Scottish Rite. What
Yeah.
valley are you a part of?
Harrisburg.
Harrisburg. There you
Yeah.
go, the big valley.
I just haven't been really active there lately, just because I'm finishing out the Blue Lodge. and
So I head up
yeah.
when you're done with that. Come see me. I head up the audio and video crew.
Yes, that's what Andy Hess, brother Hess. You know, he's been my right hand man this year in the since I've been in the East, and he's itching for me to finish up in the East. And
He's
that
in
way,
the actor crew.
Yeah, he's in the
on
actor crew.
stage.
Yeah, so he's been itching me. He's like, I'm like, hey, I just don't know what I'm going to do next year. I said, I'm going to have no purpose. And
Tell
like
Andy you're going to come work for me.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
That's
there
what
you
I'll do
go.
there. So yeah, definitely. But no, I you know what? And one of the things that I actually didn't mention there before, I'd like to talk about real quick is, our brother Ed Potter used to do an article for the District 42 was the two-way street.
Yep.
And so on, tragically, brother Potter passed away, and we just really been missing that. So our district deputy was asking, is anybody interested in doing this? It's part of like Masonic education and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I was like, I would love to do something like this because I just love bringing people together. I like doing stuff like this, staying active and stuff. And I said, this will give me something to do next year that I can do from my house and something really cool. So I went ahead and put out an issue there for our summer issue. It's My Two-Way Street is our email in there. You can kind of email us there and email us stories or whatever. So I'm looking to do a fall issue there. So we're going to do it quarterly. So it's the number 2 way, WAY at gmail.com. So if you're interested, want to send me a story about Freemasonry, about anything about your lodge, whatever, please do so because I'm looking to grow that for sure.
Let me just double check that email address. My Two-Way Street.
Yep. So it's hard to it's hard to describe it. And it's like MY the number 2 STREET.
My Two-Way.
Two-way. Yeah,
Right.
Two-Way
That-
Street.
yeah.
And at gmail.com.
got
So
it.
as I said, if you want to email me a story, email me to get subscribed to the newsletter, please do so because I'd love to grow this into something. So it's kind of cool.
Awesome.
Very cool. Wow. Great
That's great.
episode, guys.
All right.
This is awesome. So
Wait, are we done? I don't want to go home.
I don't either. This is fun.
What?
I tell you, I've missed you guys. This is a whole lot better than COVID.
Hey,
I was telling the guys before tonight's show.
Oh my God!
It's been
Such a high
incredible-
standard. You said,
Man,
it's
I
better
took a
than COVID.
nosedive off a cliff in the last 3 weeks. I've not only did I get COVID, but I had like $3,000 in car repairs. Had to replace a roof,
Wah.
and I'm like, holy cow! I need to get back going here. So It's great.
One point that I want to make that you told me, and
please.
I think I am the first guest that has not tapped on the table or the chair the whole time.
I think you are correct.
I think you're right.
So I feel like that is a
I'm
invitation
telling
to
you.
come back again sometime
Absolutely.
and be another guest sometime later down the road.
What we're going to do
Not
is
tapped.
we're going to
Okay.
send Larry out to walk with you
Yeah.
and record a segment on Route 30.
There you go.
Right in front of the outlets, right there.
Can you do that, Larry?
Have you seen me walk? No, but what I want to say.
Actually,
is
I'll
when
be
you
coming up through Strasbourg, so I won't be near the outlets.
When
Well,
you
actually, the backside of the
complete
outlets.
this walk, I think we should have you back to talk about everything that happened to you in the walk. I think that'd be a great show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
I'd be
serious.
welcome to come back, and
So-
I will not tap on anything, which I've been
You've done a great, you've
Yeah.
done a magnificent
Yeah,
job.
so-
That's, and I think you are the first guest to come in here and not bang on the tables. That's
even
awesome.
Larry still
We have to have
bangs on the
Matt
tables.
back. There's no two
Absolutely.
ways about it.
Awesome. Larry,
Yo,
what do you got coming up Masonically in the next couple of weeks?
oh my gosh.
Wednesday.
Tall Cedars, Goose and Gridiron.
Wednesday.
That's it.
No. One more. Next Wednesday.
Oh, that's
2 days
right.
2 days after this show
Lodge in the
airs.
Woods. Yes.
I
yes.
hate that Lodge in the Woods.
I'm not staying.
staying.
I'm just coming for the show.
Plastic forks. Larry, I am not kidding you. I talked to the caterer and said, "You guys need better knives," and
Yeah.
she said, "We've heard that before. We've got better knives.
Okay.
So we've got you covered."
So breaking news.
That's the best knife right there.
Breaking
I almost
news.
bought one for myself.
We need some theme music for breaking news.
Good looking knife.
But Lodge in the Woods will have like real knives. Did I hear
No,
that?
I didn't say that. I said
Okay.
better knives.
Better
Yeah.
knives.
Better knives.
Well, that's
Reinforced
that's
plastic.
not a hugely high bar, but
they're not butter knives. They're better knives.
Okay, good.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Shut up.
All right. So Jack,
Tomorrow, so this will have already happened when the episode lands, but I am speaking at Zereditha White Rose Lodge in York. Because I was at a grotto meeting and we were talking about stuff, and I said I love doing presentations at lodges, and one of the guys said, "Well, you want to come talk to my lodge?" And I said, "Sure, I'll come talk to your lodge. What do you want me to talk about?" "I don't know. What do you want to talk about?" "I don't know. What do you want to talk about?" And I said, "I don't know. Why don't we play Stump the Speaker?"
here we go.
And I'll go and I'll sit and somebody can throw out a topic and see if I can give them 3 or 4 minutes on that topic.
Ooh, that could be a great
On
Walter trip.
on a Masonic topic,
That
right?
could be a great Walter trip.
Whatever, however it wants to go. Let's just do this. So I shot my mouth off, and he's like, "Cool, let's do that." And I'm like, "Oh God, I've got to do this now." So I don't know what it's going to sound like, but I'll be there tomorrow. And then we of course have Lodge in the Woods coming up. So that's going to be on Wednesday, September the 20th. What's the matter, Larry?
This coming Sunday,
There you go.
we will be
We're not
attending.
We're not.
Oh, you're not done? You're gonna do
Since you already had your opportunity to talk
excuse
and
me.
botched it all up.
There you go.
Excuse me.
There you go.
So
Cool your jets.
So
there,
what were you
Larry.
going to tell us about, Larry? Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you.
The Unrun.
I don't want to talk about that.
Pete's brother Pete's dear love Pete. His wife Stephanie put together the Unrun, which was Pete's idea 2 years ago. I think we talked about this. He was trying to get Tall Cedars to do it over John Wright, but we never did it. So anyway,
So what is an unrun, Larry? Tell us.
Unrun.
Tell us about this.
Okay, an unrun is you have a starting line and you have a finishing line in any kind of a race, any kind of a run.
Sure you do.
Okay, right? Except this one here is the starting line and the finish line are 2 feet apart.
Wait, it's 2 feet now?
2 feet? Oh my God! They
Aw,
doubled the
man.
distance.
I thought
it
the
a-
starting line and the finish line
We're the same line.
Exactly.
Yeah, other sides of
I
the
thought-
same line.
I
You
thought
step
there were
over
two
the
lines.
line.
Oh
I
my
thought
gosh!
there were two
They've
lines.
changed the rules.
Wow, if it's 2 feet, I can't make it.
I thought it was 2 lines.
No. The start line.
Anyway,
I think it's
is
2 lines.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point
Au
being,
contraire.
the point being, the event is a fundraiser for the cancer research team that Pete had been working with for the last 10 years.
Yes.
Thyroid
After
cancer
his
research
diagnosis,
team.
Philadelphia
thyroid
Jefferson
cancer.
Hospital.
Yep. So it by the time you hear this, it will have already happened.
But I'm guessing they'll still take your money
They
for a
will
donation.
still take donations. Yes, absolutely, they will. And
even if you can't show up.
It's a great cause. Listen, Pete, we had Pete a lot longer than we might have if it hadn't been for this team. They
Absolutely.
were miraculous, and they gave us a gift, and whatever we can do to give part of that gift back, I think we owe it to Pete and his memory to do that. So
You're here.
Yeah.
So anyway, as you were going to say,
What I was going to say was, you can go ahead and register online now. You don't have to go there.
oh no,
Okay.
I'm talking about the race.
the race.
The race.
What about it?
Talk about
I
the
already said it. You
No,
stopped-
no. You haven't. The
talked
point
about
is
the start and finish line.
You talked about the start-finish line, but you didn't talk about what happens
So
after
what
the
then?
finish line.
Oh, yeah.
What
well,
happens then?
Anybody
Who's on first?
Where does this race end?
Oh,
Larry?
okay.
Who's on first? I don't know.
Where does this race end? It ends
I don't
at
know. It was right across
at
the street.
Marion
from where-
Court.
Marion Court. There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go.
There we go. So we're gonna.
And what are we going to do at Marion
At
Court?
Marion
have
Court, we're going to drink.
There you go.
We're
And
gonna
we
hear
get one free drink with registration. We get our number.
Oh, do we? We get
Yeah,
a
we
bib.
number.
I get a
And
bib.
we get something else too. But the bottom line is, you can still register. You don't even have to show up. Now, you will get a registration form that says you're a lazy bum. If you don't go, if you give money and you don't show up, that's okay. But you get a registration. They'll say they call you a lazy bum registration. I paid later than I should have. I missed the deadline.
You've only had 3 months.
I'm called a slacker.
You've been promoting this.
I'm a slacker. So
the reason
I got slacker too, but I wanted to pay more money.
the reason this is called an unrun is because this does not run.
there you go. There you go.
So we're just going to where the starting pistol goes off, we step across the line and pony up to the bar and raise a glass to Pete.
It's
Absolutely.
the perfect run for Freemasons
perfect.
anywhere in the world.
Absolutely.
And I actually like what you put out on the Ubar Grotto page this week.
What, wear your fez?
Wear your freaking fez.
Wear your fez, damn it. Yeah,
absolutely. So we're going to have some fun with this.
I think
This
so.
is good. All right, Matt, what do you got coming up in the next few weeks?
Well, we
other than the walk.
we have this little thing that we have this like walk across Pennsylvania.
What?
You know, like,
Tell us
what?
about that.
Oh, since you asked, let's talk about it now. No, not too much. We by the time this airs, our stated meeting is actually tomorrow, Thursday. So it's the second Thursday of every month. So,
There you go.
So
Second
if
Thursday
everybody
of the month.
wants to visit, they're more welcome to. They'll come see me. Get to see me up there and do my thing. So
If you
and
have
see
a-
our officers and stuff do their thing too as well. And it's a
If
great
you have
experience
a
to come
heart-
to Gettysburg.
If you have a heart condition, though, beware. It's 3 stories up.
Yeah, just a little bit, but we got
Yeah,
a
but
chair
they have
lift.
a nice lift. It's like a ski lift.
Yeah,
going
listen,
up.
man, I rode it. It's awesome.
And if you're a visitor,
it's very
to the area-
safe and very good. That's what our
And if
lawyers
you've
tell
never,
us. They always
if you've
tell
never
us
been to
say-
Gettysburg, go to the town
Yeah,
square.
absolutely.
All right, if you
Turn
get there
around.
early, go across the street to Union Cigars.
Yep,
'cause
that's
they
actually our brother John Weiser runs that
Absolutely.
there. He's our secretary, so
frequent there a
have
lot.
a
I
wonderful
smoke cigars
cigar. And
myself. Yep.
So
You know what I
the
mean?
only
So
problem I
definitely.
have with Gettysburg is you can't park anywhere. But,
you know what? We're all,
I know.
we kind of. I was trying to work on that. I thought, you know what? I'm going to save the world and try to figure out parking.
Yeah,
and I'm
you
like,
can't do it.
yeah, I was always say it was funny because people always say we run the world, and as Freemasons, and I'm like, we run the world, but we can only get 2 parking spaces in the city of Gettysburg.
Exactly.
So I'm like, yeah, how good
So the
are
good
we?
news is you have one parking
Yeah.
spot in the back that
Yep.
says Secretary of the Lodge.
And then, yep.
and as long as your secretary's not there, I'm the only one that knows about that
Yeah.
and can park there. And so, yeah.
But no, they actually. But other than that, we have an extra meeting this Saturday too as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to raise a couple. We're raising our first and a second degree.
Awesome.
And then, of course, September 30th, we do the Walk My State event. And so, once again, if you want to donate, it's GettysburgFreemasons.org. Click on the event section, and you can see our donation. Or if you're a business and want to sponsor, get your sponsorships in now as soon as possible, so I can get them promoted in the next couple weeks and go from there, man.
So I can't wait for the interview where he gets to thank the Joe's Tire Shop from Chambersburg for sponsoring his shoes.
Mr.
And
Pfister.
Mr. Pfister for
our
sponsoring
Grandmaster's a
the,
tire guy. He was our Grandmaster. Used to be a tire guy. Maybe give me some new shreds on my shoes after we're done.
Socks provided by whatever so they can.
I'll be like Ricky Bobby walking across with
exactly.
You can't walk with them sunglasses on. They got an advertisement on the front of them.
Yeah,
I can do what I want.
That's it. So,
all right,
shake and bake.
Yeah, shake and bake.
Joshua,
what you got going?
Got Lodge in the Woods coming up.
Huzzah.
And, of course, the Unrun. I'll be there for that.
Cool.
Fluorescent unitard.
Nice.
I can't wait to see that. We're posting a picture.
I want to get a wrestling onesie is what I want to get.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really don't want to see that.
No, you don't want to see that?
I don't want to see that. I'm really trying to stay away from the dreams.
It's going to wear
going to take more cornbread.
He's going to wear a thimble anyway. Don't worry.
Exactly. All right. So obviously, I've got the Unrun coming up. I've got the Lodge in the Woods. And by the way, this episode will air prior to the Lodge in the Woods. So if you are planning to attend,
it's too late.
It is too late to.
It's too late to get a ticket.
I bet there's some scalpers around.
Well, that's fine. Don't call me because ticket sales are closed.
Knows a guy. Is that
effective midnight tonight. Ticket sales are over.
If you tonight, okay.
Yes.
So if you need a ticket, I might know a guy. So send me an email.
Meals are ordered.
Yeah, we'll get you. We'll get you in.
All right.
All right.
No, we won't.
That's Wednesday, September the 20th.
Don't listen to him. He's lying. Don't show up without a prepaid ticket.
So,
Sir, please give me another bowl of soup.
No, eat the gruel.
Exactly.
No soup for you.
How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
So on Friday, the 22nd, District 19.
What? Where's that?
District 19, which is just north of Harrisburg.
Wilderness.
In the wilderness. Friday, actually it's the 22nd, I'm sorry. We'll be sponsoring at the Juniata Sportsman Association at 9891 Route 333, Port Royal, Pennsylvania.
Boom Boom Night.
I know
There
where
you
that
go. They're having a Lowell that night. Our good friend Jim Minell is the district deputy there. This is his first attempt at a Lowell there, so we want to encourage folks to, if you're in north of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in particular.
They're on the river. Port Royal's right in the river,
Yeah,
right?
that's where the milk truck crashed today.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
anyway,
So wait, if they're having a Lowell at a sportsman's club, does that mean you can catch them on the rise?
you might hear some. Boom! You might hear
Pew,
a few
pew.
of those along the
Pew
way.
pew.
Pew, pew.
That would be a thing.
So there's that.
All right.
On the next day, 23rd of September, Saturday, District 6, which is our good friend Yasser.
You're making these districts up.
No, I'm not.
I know you are.
Actually, I've got it right here. It's on the calendar.
All right. That's fine.
Yasser Al-Khatib.
How long is this going to take, Tim?
I'm a very busy guy.
Larry's got to pee.
I have to pee.
Okay.
Jeez.
So we'll speed this along. District
baby.
6 Secretary Training. If you're invited, you know where it is. So what I was going to say about the Lowell, if you come to the Lowell, or not the Lodge in the Woods, we're going to do we're going to do recording there.
There you are. Yes.
So if you're coming to the Lodge in the Woods, somewhere near the registration table, we don't know where, but look around for us and come talk to us, because we're going to do some interviews and some talking and interviewing lots of people. And we're going to see
deep
how long.
beneath the dining pavilion, the J. Edward Max Scout Reservation.
And we'll be recognizable because we'll all have our black polo shirts with our Masonic light pod, so you can find us.
So
we will
sexy.
stand out from everybody.
Larry, are you going to
that's
wear
there.
your black shirt that night?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Yes.
So we've got that. So 23rd, I'm doing that District 6 Secretary training. Also that same day, I'm going to miss the York Rate College First Capital 156 meeting. Ubar Grotto meets and returns to its shenanigans on Sunday, the 24th. Ubar Grotto.
Subliminal suggestion, that is. Yeah.
On Wednesday, the 27th of the month.
On Wednesday?
Wednesday, the 27th, which is a week after the Lodge in the Woods.
Yeah.
District 3 is having its Lowell at the Waynesboro Fish and Game Club. in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. And if you don't know how to get there, drive to Maryland and make a right and come back. That's kind of...
For those of you listening, Tim's going to take us up to November, so if you want to take a break...
Hey, I'm still got 2 more days in September.
Larry's starting to hemorrhage here. Wait a minute. Keep
right.
talking. Hurry up.
If
Tim, we have a long ride home.
29th, Lucius Securitas AMD Council is meeting somewhere. We don't know where yet,
Yada,
but we're going to
yada,
meet. And on Saturday, September 30th.
The 5th Saturday.
The 5th Saturday of the month.
Attaboy.
September 30th.
Eureka West Shore Lodge number 302 will host its 167th.
Operatives meeting.
No.
Oh, sorry.
It's coming back. Eureka West Shore Lodge number 302 will
What?
hold its 167th
27,
anniversary
36,
and Ladies' Night
45,
banquet
and
that will be at the Harrisburg
Clam-bake.
Consistory. Prior to that, however,
we
will
invited?
also
my
be
God.
the operatives meeting,
Yes,
and we'll be meeting at the Lancaster Masonic Center.
that is correct.
All right. So
Are you being paid to make all these announcements?
these are just shows. These are just places I'm showing up at. These are parts
Okay.
I'm involved with.
If you were paid to
Larry.
do this, you'd make a lot of money at this, you know?
Well, you know what? That's okay. We've determined Larry only goes to Masonic events if they have good food.
That's right. I've been a Mason for 50 years. Food is a requirement.
Food is number one. That's great. All right. Well, Matt, we want to thank you for coming in
Thank
tonight.
you for having me.
This has been
Absolutely.
awesome. We
Yeah,
wish you well.
absolutely.
We look forward to
Absolutely.
hearing from you on the backside of this.
Yep.
And I, for one, am going to commit to showing up on October the 9th at Grand Lodge.
There you go.
I
Thank
want
you.
to be I want to be there when you get there
Thank you.
to congratulate you.
Sprinkling
and-
rose petals on the steps.
Yeah.
of the-
Donate,
donate,
please.
And yeah, we'll do a live stream from there, I'm sure.
Yeah, cool,
So-
man.
That'd be a good
Thank you
idea.
guys so much.
That'd be a
Appreciate you
good
having me.
idea.
and
Cool, man. Good
like I
luck.
said,
All
man,
right.
Thank you.
All right, Josh, let's cut those chickens loose and Larry, get us out of here.
Oh, God, yes. Hey, special thanks to Everett Lodge 665 for allowing us to continue. How many years have we been here now? A lot, yeah. God, they've been good to us. They really have been. Thanks, guys. To Josh Lamberton, our producer and director. And let me say, lately, he's been doing a lot of directing.
Thank goodness.
Jack Harley, our news director. Tim Dedman, our marketing director. To Michelle Snyder and Doug Maidenford. And Austin Schifrin, Masonic Light podcast contributors. Thanks so much for doing what you do.
Maiden Ford.
That's what I said, didn't I?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I did, yeah. And to our listeners who always make doing this show worthwhile, this is Larry Merris. Thanks for listening and have a great day.
This is Tim.
This is Josh.
Who else we got here?
We got Matt.
Matt's
say
here.
goodbye.
Yeah, Matt's here.
All right.
Still.
Josh. Josh already said hi.
KY. Yep.
Larry said hi. All right. Jack.
260.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.